Pow! It's another episode of Sume Elevate, and this time I want to talk to you guys about core confidence.
Give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
So there are three levels of confidence. The first level is a surface level. Now, in that surface level, we need to understand that we can fake this level.
So we fake it till we make it.
It's a level where we can change our posture once we have more awareness, once we realize that the Western kind of left side brain way of thinking is necessary in this case, because we need to find strategies and different ways and look towards people who are confident and kind of mimic and imitate. And this is something that we also do in childhood. And so that's the first level. We need to understand that in that surface level, we need to focus our voice. We need to do interesting things with our face sometimes. And we don't want to go too animated that it looks like you're trying so hard to be confident. That's when it becomes kind of off-putting. However, knowing that there's certain things and tools and techniques, and obviously there's little things that we can do in order to really improve that first level. Now the second level is the middle level, which is one of lifestyle. So changing your lifestyle in what are your hobbies, what are the things that you do from work, and noticing the little details and noticing that there are multiple streams of things that you do and accomplishments and certain things which you can draw confidence from. So it's not only one thing. Say that you play soccer and you lose a game and you're devastated. It crushes your self-esteem. However, it doesn't crush it completely if you have other streams of confidence. So noting that you have an array of things that you do that you draw confidence from. I have a lot of creative activities that I do. I always push myself to be more confident, and it's really about pushing yourself outside of your bubble. And that's where I come to next, this concept of core confidence, which is what this video is about. And so in core confidence, we need to realize that it's that unwavering confidence that wherever you are, I will be okay. That self-trust, we all know it, we've all felt it before probably. However, to maintain it, we need to do certain things. So, please ignore all the screaming that's happening in the background right now. I am in India. This is a chaotic city full of noise and vividness and color. So, coming to this core confidence, we want to understand that we need to move out of our comfort zones, but not so much that we go into a panic zone. We don't want to go into that stretch zone where it gets problematic. Like someone who goes to the military might have their whole world shifted by PTSD or certain things, and that's not helpful in the long run. However, there is certain things like post-traumatic growth, which I've been introduced to in positive psychology. So that's not to say that there's certain things that you push yourself and then it's ultimately bad. There are always positives and benefits in any situation, I believe so. So coming to this idea of core confidence, that's that confidence where you love yourself. And I don't want to get too spiritual here. However, I want to just say this self-love thing, this self-acceptance thing has been promoted so much in this community nowadays of self-improvement. And I know this is probably a repetition for a lot of people, but it is really so important to look in the mirror at yourself, and not even at yourself, not even your physical body, but just at your general aura in the mirror and tell yourself, you are my best friend. I am your ally. We're on this journey together. So let's make memories, let's make those improvements, and knowing that you're already powerful, that maybe these little fixes aren't really as important as the overall picture, the overall version of you. And that's really what Swim Elevate is about. It's a channel that I want to push people to become the best versions of themselves they can be. And once you start to begin this journey and noticing that mind-body spectrum, like you know that your mind can affect your body in such a rapid and such a powerful way, and also vice versa. For instance, if you want to get out of your mind and that talking, you have to get into your body. If you want to improve your body and if you want to really elevate your body, you have to mentally challenge yourself and tell yourself and use positive self-talk to do that, right? So we know that these two things are connected. Sorry, my arm is getting a little tired, so I'm just gonna give you this angle for now, my beautiful face. Yeah. So understanding that we have these three levels and that really it's about growing from each of these and knowing that we can, like celebrities for instance, some of celebrities have only 2 levels and they don't have that third level. They go into a drug addiction or they collapse in some way. That core confidence is so important. And we saw that example in Conor McGregor versus Floyd. Conor had those first 2 levels of confidence. He had that law of attraction. He was telling himself, I'm going to win, I'm going to do this, I'm going to put my all in, that determination. However, I think what Floyd had is a core confidence. And he knew that from his undefeated streak. And what Conor mentioned in a very humbling way, we finally saw that realness come out of him, is that he had composure. And composure is also another thing which really builds upon that. I have been really strung up with a lot of emotions recently. There's a lot of transitions happening in my life right now. I'm starting my own business now, and I'm really going into the job market now. And so there was a lot of stress with me finishing my final paper and a lot of things. And in those moments, it was the composure, it was the moments, the reminders to myself to get more into my body, or to fix my posture, or to really stop doing the things that made me sad on purpose, or stressed or anxious on purpose. Because the way that my brain sometimes conditions itself, and this comes from lots of awareness obviously, but really understanding when your egoic mind comes up and when it comes up and how to facilitate it and how to recognize the different aspects of yourself and really noticing the kind of impact that it does have, then we will understand the true power of this kind of incredible experience of life. So what I want to leave you guys with is really understanding that we have to have this unconditional love for ourselves, knowing that it will all work out, and understanding that faith is evidence of something that we cannot see. So it's more about understanding it on a deeper level and knowing that anxiety and stress and all these things, they're temporary. We need to be very open towards admitting our flaws, however, noticing that sometimes we even label ourselves, and I know I do this too. I've labeled myself as depressed or anxious or unmotivated or insomniac. There are things that we consciously do that change our way of being and establish a certain framework. And that limits us. That doesn't help us to grow. So really breaking ourselves down and breaking out these labels and conceptions of ourselves and understanding that our identity is always changing, that our personalities are ever flowing, that we are fluid beings. We're like the clouds. We will We're water vapor, just evaporating and going through the process and really understanding that. And the sooner you recognize that you need to bridge that gap between the person you want to be and the person that you are, the sooner that you bridge that little gap, the more powerful it will become. The surface level, which is what is external to you, it is kind of the confidence that you can fake, how people perceive you, and you can change that first perception of people by doing certain things, by being more open, by speaking with a range of voices instead of being monotonous, by really holding your head high and just like walking into a room and owning it. And that is at first a little bit, you have hesitation there, but that hesitation, there's a potential in that tension. And once you've done the thing, you know that you can do it, and gaining a reference experience from that, that's really important for the surface level. Then we have the middle level, which is your lifestyle. What are you drinking? What are you eating? What are you putting into your body? What are your hobbies? What are your crafts? Do you have a passion for life? Do you have a meaning for life? All these things come into that middle level. And then finally that core level, which is within, comes from deep analysis and meditation and awareness and perception shifts, and also reminding yourself and really looking at yourself and just finding that unconditional love. So we have to have a relationship with our minds and bodies, and a relationship isn't easy. Anyone who's been in one knows this. And modern people are not in touch with how we know things intuitively. It's so important to create a new lens, a positive, optimistic lens that dissolves all other lenses. And to do that, it's preparation. We need to remove that meta worry, that thinking about how we are thinking. And in order to do that, of course, we have to kind of view ourselves from a third-party perspective. We have to look at ourselves and observe, where is that nervousness held in our bodies? Where exactly are we feeling that tension? And we can do this from a body scanning, not scaring your body. Ooh. We need to be able to sit in nature with all of our senses and just do nothing. And that's really difficult to do in this millennial generation, which we have attention spans shorter than a goldfish. We want to move from a place of less competition and more collaboration. We want to move to a place from jealousy and comparing ourselves to others into one where we're taking inspiration from people and being influenced by leaders. And so once we start changing our perception about growth and personal growth, only then can we enhance and get to that level. Intuition comes from experience, right? And so whatever frames of reference we have, we start to create a worldview around it, and that becomes our instinct. But once we remove all those layering of conditioning, then we are just our hormones, and we are just these primal beings. We know that we can use that development to help and heal others, and really give back to the world, and really give back to Mother Nature, and all of this abundance that we have. And knowing that it's really, once you're coming from that give mentality rather than a take mentality, it really starts to change you, and it really starts to change the way that you are generous towards others, and your compassion changes, and you have a cognitive restructuring. And so what I really recommend you guys is to really go in to your experiences and feel them fully. And your first instinct will be run away from this, escape this as far as you can. I have a habit of like just pushing away negative things. I know that. But it's about really putting yourself in that focus, recognizing and understanding your awareness, and then learning to grow from it. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. Pow! Step your life game.